Hi, I'm Amanda, Law School Tutor, and welcome to my very first video. Today I am going to go over the difference between actually using a law school tutor and using the learning assistant or professor's assistant that the school has provided for you. So first, a little bit about myself. I graduated from law school in May of 2019, so I do have a law degree. I am a Juris Doctor, and during the work week, I work at a very busy probate litigation firm in downtown San Diego. My home is also in downtown San Diego, and it's where I provide both my in-person tutoring and my online tutoring sessions. So first we're going to start with what is a learning assistant. So if your school does not have one, you might not be familiar with this concept, but they're basically students that have recently gone through that same course that you're in that did generally exceptionally well, and they are hired to help students as students in classes behind them go through that course. So, a typical class could have between 50 and 100 students in it, and that is just too many students for one professor to handle. So a student is provided to assist other students. So we're going to start first with some of the cons of using a learning assistant. So first is that you don't get to choose them. You essentially get whoever you get, and you don't get a say in it. So this person might not be very organized. They might be too busy. They might not have a style of teaching that is something that you can understand. They might have no experience teaching, and therefore they just try to share what they did, which may not work for you and for some of the other students in the class. So even though most learning assistants are brilliant in their own rights, they often just don't have the experience to just take what they know and to share it in a way that can be learned and understood and really grasped by the 50 or 100 students per course that they are paid to assist. The second con is that, unfortunately, and I think it's a little bit sad, learning assistants typically make about $12 an hour. So with a pay of only $12 an hour, the learning assistants being students themselves, and typically upper level, your 2Ls and your 3Ls, some that are only a semester away from graduating, their main concern, especially when they're only getting $12 an hour, is their own grades. And when you kind of weigh the cost between, your own success and helping someone else for $12 an hour, that's often not a very, close call. So most learning assistants are going to do just kind of what they need to do to get the students by, and then they really just need to focus on themselves. So that is a huge con. And I'm not suggesting that you should not use the learning assistants. They are wonderful. Myself, I did it for my entire 2L and 3L year. So in that 4 semesters, I taught a total of 8 courses. So I understand it from both sides. So I remember at exam time, maybe the night before, 2 nights before a big exam for me, I had students calling me until really late at night, asking me question after question, and it just kept pulling me away from, the setting that I was trying to get in the last minute preparation. So it is really tough. So if you're a student that needs some designated one-on-one time, definitely a learning assistant may not be the best option for you. So now let's get into the pros of using a learning assistant. So first, they are no cost to you. So someone is paying them their $12 an hour, but it is not you, at least not directly. So a lot of it is federal funding. Sometimes it's grant money or scholarship money. Sometimes if the school doesn't have the money or the school doesn't qualify for federal grants, they will allow the professors to actually hire a learning assistant themselves. So the professor will actually pay the student the $12 an hour wage to assist the professor in all the things the professor can't get to, which is just answering emails and the repetitive questions that professors get over and over again. Students that miss a class and they need someone to just go over that material with them, the students are the best ones to handle that sort of stuff. And most students typically feel a little more comfortable going to other students. So that is definitely a pro of using a learning assistant. The second pro is going to be the fact that your learning assistants, because they're students, are typically right there on campus with you. So you might have them in other classes. You might just coincidentally, study at the law library at the same time. So you're generally going to be in about the same place at about the same time. So it makes it really easy and convenient to try to meet up with them, just depending on your schedules. And, one might have day classes, one might have night classes, which always was a huge challenge to me. I typically tended to, for whatever reason, get hired by the professors that taught night classes. And so their students were night students that, had jobs during the day, or maybe the professors had an actual law firm that they worked at or that they managed or owned during the day, and then they would go and teach at night. So I was a day student. For my whole 3 years, I was a full-time day student. So when I had night students, it was very challenging for me. I wasn't on campus. I live about at least 30 minutes if there's no traffic away from campus, about an hour away from campus if there is traffic. So I wasn't able to leave and drop all of my studies to go back to campus to meet face to face. So a lot of our studies were done over Skype, which it works really well as long as you don't need to, physically show small things or sit with someone and, just kind of hold their hand. So as long as there isn't a whole lot of that, the long distance, electronic way works really great. So those are your cons and your pros of using a learning assistant. Now, let's move into a law school tutor. So, in defining what a law school tutor is, it's really no different than just having a tutor with any other grades, your elementary, middle school, your high school. It's the same concept. It's just you have someone with a lot more knowledge and oftentimes a lot more just world wealth knowledge, experience, someone that can just guide you through the whole process. If you find a tutor like myself that is already graduated and out into the practicing real world, you get a tutor that brings all of that with you. So you're not necessarily limited to just their experience in one course from one school. And that is a huge benefit that having a law school tutor will give you. So now we will start with a couple cons of using a law school tutor. The first one being that they are not free. So the cost varies significantly based on just the location and experience of the tutor. So I have found in my market research that the typical tutor is going to be between maybe $200 to $300 an hour if you use a practicing attorney. So if it's an attorney that, does their practice Monday through Friday and then they just tutor a little bit on the weekends, they tend to charge the rate they would charge their clients if their clients were coming in to actually get a legal matter handled or litigated. So as a law school student, that can be very challenging to try to come up with $200, $300 an hour when typically you're struggling to pay rent and to eat anything more sophisticated than ramen noodles. So we have all been there. So that is a definite con. So you can find less expensive tutors. Myself, as I am relatively new in the tutoring area on my own. So like I said, I was hired several years as a student, but I am right now, it's $49 for an hour, or you can do, most students do 2-hour blocks. So a 2-hour block is $90 right now. And this is an introductory special. So it may not stay that price for too much longer, just depending on my availability. So the next pro is going to be that you are going to get a tutor that is going to put you as their top priority. So as I mentioned with the learning assistant and how they're a student, oftentimes their own studies are their priority. And unfortunately, it's just not you. It can't be, a student can't have 100 other students that are their top priority. They would no longer, be the exceptional student that professors look to hire. So, our own grades are very important to us. And so we have to protect that and protect ourselves and our space and our time and everything that we're required to do to get our 4.0s and above. So that are some cons and some pros of using a law school tutor. So if you have found this valuable, I hope that you will like and subscribe so that you can get notified as I upload and post more videos. Please share to other law school students, anyone that you think this could help. With this being my first video, I would love to start seeing the subscribers. I would love to get my first 100 in the next week or so. So if you could help me make that happen, I would greatly appreciate it. So on the next video, we are going to be talking about some of your law school goals and how you can achieve them, and hopefully you have more than just to graduate. So hopefully we can establish some really genuinely good, big, grand goals and walk through how to achieve those goals. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Amanda with the Law School Tutor. You can reach me on my website at lawschooltutoramanda.com, and you can find all of my contact information there. Okay, until next time.